Seated. I want you to remember that no bastard ever won war by dying for his country. You won it by making the other poor dumb bastard die for his country. And all this stuff you've heard about America not wanting to fight, wanting to stay out of the war, is a lot of horse dung. Americans traditionally love to fight. All real Americans love the sting of battle. When you were kids, you all admired the champion marble shooter, the fastest runner, big league ball player, the toughest boxer. Americans love a winner and will not tolerate a loser. Americans play to win all the time. I wouldn't give a hoot in hell for a man who lost and laughed. That's why Americans have never lost and will never lose a war.
Yes, I can talk to you guys for a few minutes. What's this about?
OCS training, but you're the highest ranking officer in this unit.
Ah, I see. This mission I'm on is certainly unusual, given our primary objective of liberating occupied Europe, but public relations has its importance because at the end of the rope, there's no use in winning a war if you don't have the support of the home front. All I can do is carry out the orders handed to me from my commanding officer. Me? Motivated? You bet. Everyone was real tense in the days leading up to the landing. I wrote my wife a lot. Whenever things get tough, I think of her. But most of all, before the landing, everyone just wanted to kick ass and then go home. The day before we got the green light, I got to sit in on a pretty remarkable speech. The environment around me is dynamic, to say the least. There's the strategic objectives given to the division. Start here, neutralize these targets, regroup there. And then there's the tactical objectives given to my company. Flank this position, secure this red junction, find a random private and send him home. In between taking orders, it's up to me to guide my men based on the information I've gathered. I'm constantly surveying the enemy's movements and calling plays like a quarterback would, except I'm also making tackles like a linebacker at the same time. Oh, and the gridiron is packed full of landmines. You could feel it in the air. Once we got behind the enemy's bunkers, we knew we'd hold the beach. A lot of things didn't go exactly right, and some things went horribly wrong, but the day was certainly ours. So, needless to say, this Ryan story got moved up the ranks PDQ. The general told the brigadier general, who told the colonel, who told the lieutenant colonel, who told the major, who told me to venture out here in enemy territory with a skeleton crew to find Private Ryan. It's the same everywhere. It all rolls downhill. These guys have fought just as hard as everyone else, and we all deserve to go home. So it's natural that they feel hostile to the U.S. Army issued PR orders that have no direct effect on the road towards Berlin. But I'm not going to give them that. A dissenting opinion from an authority figure will lead to a breakdown in the morale of your subordinates. It's my job to find this Private Ryan because that's exactly what I was told to do. I'm not going to let my personal feelings get in the way of carrying out orders. These guys need constant reminding of who's making the calls, so that in moments of crisis, there's no question to whether or not to follow what I say. We've rested little. The sun was hot, and the men were simply not behind this. If we were going to find Ryan, it was here. Maybe it was out of desperation, but I had to do what I was sent to do. Find Private Ryan. I explained to them how Bumville is really Boomville, a French town that has one of the only intact bridges that leads outside of Normandy. Rommel and the Germans know that we need the bridge to take Paris, and he needs it for his own panzer divisions. And that's where Ryan happens to be. Captain Davis was kind to us by letting us tap into his ammo depot, and then we moved out. All of this came from my call to attack a German radar post on our way to Boomville. Wade was hit and paralyzed, and he was bleeding badly. Isolated and without any ease of his suffering, he asked for a lethal dose of morphine, and he died. He died because I had us go out of our way for something other than our mission. Now that mission was at breaking point. I had to dig deep. For the first time, my men got to know the real me. He took the news surprisingly well. The town had been battered, and the unit that he was attached to was down to a corporal as their commanding officer. So that put me in charge as the highest rank. Now they're expecting a German armored unit to come through, and they had little hope of holding the bridge with what they had. So it was no surprise to any of us when he said, "This put me at a real crossroads. Here's a guy who, like us, had been through a lot. So he has more commitment to the men beside him than to anyone else." I gathered my men around me. What was the right call here? So we've set up defensive positions in key areas like the bell tower and along the avenues that we're hoping to lead them down. We've booby-trapped the roads with mines and implemented a hit-and-run strategy. The men were tickled by my sticky bomb idea.
Sir, what's a sticky bomb?
You too? Has anyone read the field manual? All right, we took TNT, we stuffed it inside pairs of socks, and then we coated it with grease. And that's what makes it stick to the axle. We rigged a fuse, and then the explosion will knock the tracks off the tank, rendering it immobile and creating a 60-ton roadblock.
Captain, Private Jackson has spotted enemy movement.
All right, cut the cameras. Grab your guns. It's game time.